Hello everyone, Scott Sylvan Bell coming to you live from Sacramento, California. It is December 22nd, 2015. This is video number 700 on this YouTube channel, Scott Bell Consultant. So I figure what I do for you is I put together a video about rejection so you can understand what it is and you can understand what it isn't. Now here's the thing, it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter if it's business, doesn't matter if it's sales, all this information holds true. So first up, you're going to want to grab a piece of paper and a pen and take some really good notes. Second, while you're doing that, I had an instructor in algebra when I was in 8th grade, and his name was Mr. Fuentes. So I had a teacher, and he always said if you could draw a picture for somebody, they're going to understand what's going on easier than if you just kind of talk to them. You know, people are highly visual. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to draw just a standard chart for a standard graph, because this is going to be the easiest thing for you, and it makes the process just really straightforward, okay? So you're going to have a vertical line, and you're going to have a horizontal line. Now you're going to want to put some numbers to this. So 0 is going to be on the corner, 5 is going to be on the middle, 10 is going to be on the very end, 5 is going to be in the middle, 10 is going to be at the very top, okay? So those are going to come in handy here in a second. Now on this bottom line, you're going to label it time, effort, and risk. These are the 3 linchpins that hold everything together for rejection. Because if you don't have these, then like rejection really is impossible. It can happen. It's just going to be really tough. So the first thing is, how much time did you have in the project, the person, or the event? How much time do you have wrapped up in it? So think about the last time you were rejected. So it could have been a relationship. I was with the person for 8 years. Okay. All right. Well, that's a good amount of time. Did you put a lot of effort into it? Oh yeah. Was there a lot of risk? Yeah, there was, because I could have dated other people and I didn't. Okay. So we have all 3 elements: time, effort, and risk. So effort. You know, how much did you have to learn? What did you go through? What did you have to achieve to make it happen? In a risk, it could be financial, right? I put a lot of money into this project, into this venture, and things fell flat. So if it's a 0, meaning you didn't do anything, it's just sitting on the couch doing nothing, or 10, you gave everything possible you could. You went through your life savings, you spent a bunch of time with this person, you asked them to marry you, you got married, you got kids. Whatever time, effort, and risk is for you, that's what you need to figure out, okay? Now, on this vertical line is going to be emotions. And people say, well, Scott, really? Emotions? Oh, yeah. And understand that the more emotional state that you're in, the more emotions that you have going on and the more feelings you have going on, the more that it's going to multiply against time, effort, and risk. Okay? So up here, I have the more that you need it, the more of a chance of being rejected. So I have things up here like admiration. I need people to admire me. For whatever reason, I'm missing admiration in my life, and I need you to admire me. I have affection or love. I'm a lonely dude. I'm single. I don't have somebody who loves me, right? Why doesn't somebody like me? I got Elvis Presley playing, you know, so lonely that I could die in the background all night, every night. I need recognition. I need somebody to give me recognition. Like, Scott, you're an awesome guy. Let me pat you on the back. I need respect, whatever respect means to you, okay? So I have a necessity for all these. If I have more than one, if I have 2 or I have 3, the chances of me finding rejection are going to be a lot easier, okay? Now, in the middle, if you draw a line, there's a dotted line right here, and there's some arrows, and draw a line right here. This is the bare minimum amount of effort involved. So if you're dating, that just means that you went out. The bare minimum. I went to the bar. I went to the club. I went to the singles event. That's the bare minimum. I went. I showed up. For a salesperson, that means that I went to the sales call. I give the bare minimum presentation. I did the bare minimum just because I decided that's what I was going to do. Okay, so this is like the distinction that salespeople have when I work with them. They're like, this is the biggest aha moment that they have. So over here in this area, bare minimum, less than bare minimum, that's not rejection. It's regret. It's saying I didn't do everything possible. So I went out last night. And I really wanted to talk to this girl. I was really attracted to her for whatever reason. I liked her hair, right? I liked the dress that she was wearing. I liked the blouse. She had some nice jewelry. And I made eye contact with her. And I went over to the bar. And I was going to go say something to her. And I chickened out. Okay, that's regret. It's regret. I went to my sales call. I talked to the buyer. And for whatever reason, I knew that if I put time, effort, and risk in, the higher my rejection was going to be. Now, one of the things that I found with working with salespeople is, if there's rejection, a lot of rejection going on in life, or a lot of emotional stuff, salespeople tend to shorten up the sales call, because in their mind, well, I didn't put time, effort, or energy into it. You really can't, like on the scale of rejection, I'm at a 5, right? 5 doesn't hurt. 5, it doesn't feel good, but it doesn't hurt. 10's horrible. Well, so what salespeople will do is they'll do the bare minimum so that they don't get rejected. But because they did the bare minimum, they end up rejected. Okay. Now over here in the corner, I've got a little piece chopped off. This is labeled doing nothing. This is sitting on the couch. This is also known as broken lonely. There's nothing going on. So if I don't go out and I'm single and I don't try to acquire a phone number or email address, a Facebook account, an Instagram, a Pinterest name, so however you get somebody's name, I'm going to be on the couch and I'm going to be lonely. Okay. If I'm a salesperson and I don't do whatever it is, if I don't go out and try to set appointments, if I don't go out and ask for the business, if I don't go out and give presentations, it's going to be pretty tough for me to make some money. And if I work for a company that pays, a couple some money per month and says, hey, you gotta figure out how to make some sales, eventually I'm going to be out of a job if I don't produce. Okay, so over here is regret. Now there's a lot of people who they confuse what's going on. They're like, I got rejected. Hey, you didn't get rejected. You didn't do enough to be rejected. So we got to talk about where you're at. We need to get you past, number 5 and number 5. We need to get you over on the other side where you put in time, effort, and energy, and you put some emotional, like, I'm going to make this happen, some resolve to it. So resolve should be on this list as well. That needs to be there, okay? Now, over here in the rejection world, on this piece of real estate, I'm going to say there's an angry neighbor. So if this is like an acre of land, you got the angry neighbor, and that angry neighbor can come over and guilt you. So this is going to be something that's going to compound the rejection that's going on. So I like to share with you, I'm going to share with you, my grandmother in 1919, when she was born, she invented guilt. It came with her. She was the person who invented guilt. My grandma Amy. Yep, she did. Okay. That could be somebody who trash talks. So, I've worked with a lot of salespeople, and salespeople like to be competitive. And so they may go on a call and they may close it, and their buddy may not. And so that buddy's going to hear about it. So that's going to compound on the rejection. And it could be public scrutiny. There could be the angry neighbor that I'm telling you about. That could be a coworker. That could be a family member that they're always like, you never do anything right. I could have done it better. You know what I'm talking about. There's somebody that in your life that you're just like, if the aliens are real, I want them to come and pick this person up and take them off the planet. That's the person I don't want to deal with anymore. That's who you put on that list right there. Because that person compounds what's going on. They create issues for you. They create problems. They create rejection. And a lot of times what you're going to find is if there's somebody like that in your life, the chances are good that a lot of times you're not doing the full amount of work, because it's easier to have the regret than it is to have the rejection and to have that person nag you. Okay? So kids are really notorious for this, especially for parents who really push for them to do stuff. They may do the project, but it's easier to not turn the project in and hear the complaint of, why didn't you turn the project in? Then you got an A-, why didn't you get an A+? Because which one hurts more? Well, I didn't turn the project in. It doesn't hurt that bad. It's like you did something, but you didn't do enough. Okay? So that's the person that you hope that the alien ship picks up and takes away for you. Okay? So there's a couple of constants that go in here. If you don't act, you can't be rejected. And you're like, well, Scott, that just makes a lot of sense. But a lot of times what will happen is somebody goes through rejection and they get like this, I'm going to sit on the couch mode. I'm going to sit over here. Well, without frequency, without going through whatever the event is, whether it's sales or asking for the date, it's really tough for you to create momentum. And so if I only ask one person out a year, the chances of me being rejected become greater because all my time, energy, effort, and risk is wrapped up in one person. All my emotions are wrapped up in that one person. But if I ask out 10 people a week and 3 of them tell me yes, and I end up getting like a good date with one of them, yeah, there was some hurt and some pain involved, but like my point of reference is now I have something going on. So instead of 10 weeks for me to get one date, right, or 10 months for me to get one date, I got it all in 1 week. And so for you, for the salesperson, for the person out in dating, if you don't have frequency with what you do, it's going to be really tough for you to get past what's going on. And yes, I know it hurts. Yes, I know that it's not like the best feeling in the world. But moving forward is a really good thing for you. Now here's the thing. When you're done doing this, if you've gone on a sale, you've gone on a date, you've asked somebody out, you really got to ask yourself some questions. What did I do right and what did I do wrong? Now, one of the things that happens is people naturally get stuck on figuring out more wrong things than right things. So I'm going to recommend figure out 4 things that you did right. What were 4 things that you did right? Okay, I approached the girl or the guy. Good, that's 1. 2, I actually introduced myself. 2. 3, I made an effort to actually say, I'm somewhat interested in you or I'm really interested in you. Can I have your number? Right? So that was all good. And then 4 is like, I actually went out and I tried again. I did multiple attempts. And then just figure out one thing that went wrong. Just one thing. Because like the human brain starts like, it's like this mad calculator, tick, 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 tick. And like all of a sudden there's a million things that went wrong. So just figure out one thing that went wrong. I told a joke that we probably should have told, right? That happens to me. This is a real life situation. I told a joke that I shouldn't have told. Okay. Well, that's where I went wrong. You know, the girl was into me all the way to the point where I made the inappropriate joke. There we go. Okay. Or I was on a sales call and I had it all the way until I kept talking and I didn't ask for the business. Or I met with a venture capitalist and I had him all the way until I went to lunch and I spilled my salad all over him. Okay. That's something that went wrong. So figure out on your chart 4 things that went right and 1 thing that went wrong. And then just take a look at it. It's going to take some notes on your effort. It's going to take some work on your part. But once again, in order for you to be rejected, you have to have time, effort, and risk involved. And you have to have the bare minimum or it's going to be a regret for what's going on. Now, when it comes to like shooting videos like this, I think 700 videos on YouTube is a pretty cool thing. I want to thank a couple of people. So first off, Bob Beverly. He is this awesome therapist out of New York. And I'll put some information and a link down below for him. My mentor for the last 5 years, Dr. Kevin Hogan, Mr. Influence himself. And then, you know, of course, I got to say mom and dad. I got to say, hey, thanks, mom. Hey, thanks, dad. You guys, you know, thanks for everything you've done for me. Now, if you could do a small favor for me in the box down below, leave a comment, question, or story. That would be fantastic. To the right, to the left, there is a subscribe button. Subscribe. And then you can send it out to your friends via StumbleUpon, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. Why not even LinkedIn? Scott Sylvan Bell. Only Scott Bell will summit. I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Aloha.